Good afternoon and welcome to Prairie Park. We are set for Urbana High School baseball. The Tigers battling the Unity Rockets. This afternoon, Jason Liggett joined by Urbana High School senior Michael Monreal. And Mike, a little bit of a tough start this season so far for the Tigers, but what do they have to do to get the W here today?
That was close. I'd say they kind of just need to try to put these last few games behind them, just kind of try to stay focused on this and, try to, I don't know how their offense is doing, but obviously, getting some offense going early would definitely be helpful for them.
All good points as we see Jacob Welbus on the mound today for Urbana. He gets his first strike. The count is 1-2. The first strike comes after a ball high and inside and another ball inside. And that one nibbles the outside corner. We're evened up at 2 apiece. So Welbus has really had a solid Tigers career over the past couple of years that we've seen him here on the Tigers Media Network. That one popped up, could still be in play, but no, off the dugout roof and out of play.
I mean, yeah, going back to my freshman year, I remember Jacob, I believe he made varsity as a freshman, correct?
I think so. It seems like we've been calling his name for quite a while here.
Yeah.
That one chopped up the middle.
Oh, and he missed it.
And that'll be an error there for the Tigers. Should have been a routine out perhaps. Zeke Brown out there at shortstop, not able to come up with that hard-hit ground ball. And finding himself at first base is Gunnar Bailey. Now up to the plate, pitcher Kyle Miller.
And that's a foul ball. Going way back.
So an E6 for Bailey. And an 0-1 count now on Kyle Miller. Miller on the mound today for the Rockets. The Tigers 0-5 on the season, as we see that one chopped back as well.
Wow, pretty far back.
The Unity Rockets enter today's game 3-3 overall, 0-1 in the conference. They play in the Illini Prairie Conference. That one tipped foul and out.
So that'll be the first out of the inning. I know if I'm Urbana right here, I'm hoping for a ground ball leading to a double play. Just get out of this inning as soon as possible, or this half inning as soon as possible.
Welbus tossing it over to Calhoun as Bailey had a little bit of a lead over there on first base. Up to the plate for the Rockets, Damian Knoll. Knoll looks at strike one. Knoll, a freshman, getting the start at third base today for Unity. Bailey running to second, and that throw just a little bit off as he slides in safely. Tigers probably had him there on speed, and that been just on line, but just
a little off there.
Little off there enables Bailey to get into scoring position for Unity.
That'll be a foul ball.
Umpire already in need for some more baseballs, as we've seen 3 or 4 fouled off already in this ball game. Well struck ball into right center. Coming around to score is Gunnar Bailey.
And that'll be a single for
Damian Knoll. So an RBI single for third baseman Knoll as Gunnar Bailey comes around to score, and the Unity Rockets strike first here in the top of the first inning. It's 1-0 Unity. That'll be scored as an unearned run there, as it was an E6 that got Gunnar Bailey on base in the first place. Lane Innes up to the plate for Unity. He lays off strike one there, and it's a 1-1 count. It's really a big out here for the Tigers if they're able to get that. He chops it to first. Should be a routine play for Calhoun. He steps on first base and records the out.
And now you just need one more out, get out of this inning, and hopefully even it up or take the lead in the next half inning.
There you go. That's the spirit, Mike. First baseman Nate Reinhardt to the plate for the Rockets. Knoll in scoring position at second base now for Unity. There's the delivery from Welbus. That one struck into left field. Mike gonna be out of play there.
I think he caught it. Nope.
I don't think so.
Almost.
Yeah. Tough to see down there on third base where that play had happened, but not able to come up with it. Braden Rudisil out in left field for the Tigers today.
And that'll be out. That's the end of the away half of the first.
So the Rockets leave one stranded. They get one across the plate. And we're headed to the bottom half of the first inning. See if the Tigers can even things up here, as it's a 1-0 ball game early on at Prairie Park. And Mike, I was telling you before we went on the air here, what a great game we had the opportunity to call last Tuesday at the softball field at Urbana High School. Urbana High School freshman Allison Deck pitching a perfect game for the Tigers, 18 strikeouts against the Heritage Hawks. She was rolling.
I mean, that's incredible. That's something, I mean, you can always be proud to say, you know, I pitched a perfect game in my lifetime.
Absolutely.
Because that's, honestly, it's one of the hardest things to do in sports. Part of why there's only 18 Major League Baseball players to ever have pitched one.
Yeah, much easier said than done, and certainly an experience for everyone at the ballpark that day. Not just Allison, but just to see a perfect game pitched was an experience certainly for me.
Yeah, I mean that's always incredible.
Leading off for the Tigers is Jordan Smith.
He takes ball one.
Jordan not available in the Tigers' home opener, which we called earlier this season, but he is available here today. They fell to Oakwood 6-2 in the game we called on March 19th. Smith, a senior this year for Urbana. One of 6 or 7 seniors.
Oh yeah,
7 seniors.
This team has a lot of experience, and he gets hit. That'll be a base. And Levi Coffey will be up next for the Tigers.
So the Tigers have their first base runner of the afternoon, courtesy of a hit by pitch. And if memory serves correct, Smith has some speed on those bags as we see him lead off there. I would not be surprised to see him in the scoring position soon, whether that's through stealing the base or getting sent over there by a hit. Miller tosses over to Reinhardt and does it again. And the ball gets away from him, and
that'll be second base. And they'll hold him at second.
Yeah, you could hear Gino down there loud and clear saying right there, right there, right there. Didn't want Smith to push it there and get thrown out at third. So runner in scoring position for the Tigers is Jordan Smith on second, and Levi Coffey at the plate for Urbana. Miller winds up. There's the delivery, and swinging away is Coffey for strike one. Cloudy skies today here in Urbana, but great temperature, and I think this is, of the 7 or 8 years that I've been calling games out at Prairie Park, Mike, probably the least windiest day that I can remember.
Oh, yeah, I had a friend of mine on last year's team, Dan Wachtel, whenever I'd come to see him play. I mean, it's always real windy.
I think the very first baseball game that we called here at Prairie Park, Mr. Stillwell was on commentary, math teacher at the high school, with Ricardo Vargas. And Miguel Fierro was running a camera on first base, and I was running around frantically trying to make sure everything worked. But it was freezing rain and a little bit of snow that day, and it was miserable. And it was a long game.
You remember who won?
I couldn't tell you who won or who lost or who even Urbana played, but I remember the weather conditions and who all toughed it out there on the broadcasting crew. And that anyway, I don't even think I could name a player from that team off the top of my head.
Yeah, that does not sound fun. And that'll be a base hit.
Coffey got a hold of that one.
And he drops it. And that'll even this game up.
And just what the Tigers wanted there. Smith rounds third, comes home to score, and Levi Coffey gets an RBI single.
It'll be Jacob Welbus up to bat now.
See if Welbus can support his own cause here.
And that'll be a base hit.
Yeah, Welbus does just that, advances the runner to second base, and he's safe at first with a single.
And here comes Miller Calhoun.
Calhoun, two-sport athlete here at Urbana. He is part of that tremendous basketball season for the boys basketball team, winning the first regional title since 1989.
It looks like they're going to have a pinch runner come in for Welbus.
Courtesy runner here for Welbus as he's the pitcher for the Tigers. Don't want to wear him out on the bases. I can't quite tell who is that out there running for him. Can you, Mike?
I believe that's Donnie.
You're right, number 17, Donnie Williams.
Yep.
Donnie Williams, I don't remember calling his name in past seasons. I see that he's a senior. Do you know if this is his first year out or
No, I think he
just on JV previous
no,
years?
well, it's freshman sophomore year, but I believe last year he just didn't get a whole lot of opportunities to get out there.
Gotcha. Well, there was a healthy cut by Miller. He really wanted to whack that one, but Kyle Miller, the pitcher, sends that past Miller Calhoun, the batter. Not to confuse our Millers there. So, first strikeout of the game for Kyle Miller as he gets Calhoun swinging. So, runners on first and second, one out. Braden Rudisil at the plate for Urbana.
And he takes ball one.
On deck is sophomore Andrew Mancuso. That one's going to be fouled high and
just out there. Just out of reach for Unity.
Yeah, down the third baseline, as we've seen a couple already this afternoon. Two and one the count. And the pitch, that one fouled down the third baseline. Gino's going to field that one himself. Urbana Tigers coach Gino Hoffman. Kyle Miller finding his own here these last couple of batters as he strikes out Rudisil.
And up now is Mancuso.
Mancuso, the Tigers catcher. Here's the 0-1 delivery from Miller. Runners on first and second, two out. He gets him swinging there for strike two. So a 1-1 ball game here in the bottom half of the first. The Tigers trying to grab the lead. Runners on first and second. And he gets him looking. So the Tigers strand two. They get one across the plate to tie things up as we head to the second inning. It's a 1-1 ball game here at Prairie Park. Jason Liggett joined by Urbana High School senior Michael Monreal. And Mike, I think the last time that we talked to you was either at a wrestling meet or a basketball game this past season. I can't remember which, but
I want to say it was a basketball game.
Okay. Yeah, you're probably right about that. But you're on the wrestling team.
Yep.
Kind of a recap of how the Urbana High School wrestling team did both, more so individual accolades this past season.
I mean, obviously Luke won state for, the third straight year. We had a couple of fresh soft state qualifiers and two girls state qualifiers. Me personally, the season didn't end the way I would have hoped, but those were some of the best 4 years I had, and I'm always thankful for it.
Well, a very team-oriented sport, not necessarily when you're on the mat, but certainly you think of wrestling as a brotherhood of sorts, more so than maybe some of the other sports that are offered at Urbana High School.
You get close with those guys, and there will be points where you'll get on someone's nerves, someone else will get on your nerves, but you'll get over it because you view that you're both doing this incredibly hard sport, and you kind of respect each other a little bit more for it.
Designated hitter Jonah Sullivan up to the plate for Unity.
I was not aware they had a DH in high school.
They do on their lineup. You'll see a designated player in softball. I'm not sure if it's, I don't think they divide that up by conference necessarily.
That'll make the count 2-2.
Welbus goes inside on him and gets the K. Catcher John Flavin up to the plate for Unity.
And he fouls that one for strike 2.
Oh. Hit the batter there. Flavin tried to get out of the way of that one, but could not. So second hit batter of the game, first hit batter
For Urbana.
at the hands of Welbus. Junior Jared Roth up to the plate for Unity. That one high and outside for ball 1. He swings away for strike 1, so a 1-1 count here. Flavin getting a healthy lead over at first base. Calhoun ready for the toss, doesn't come. That one grounded up the middle and underneath the legs of the Tigers' second baseman. A little bit of a stutter there from Flavin, but he's going to come in safely at third base.
Friends with the corners with one away.
So that'll be an E4. Playing second base for the Urbana Tigers is Hayden Hartley, so he's unable to come up with that well-hit ground ball up the middle. The Tigers are going to let the runner advance to second, so take away the double play possibility there. So Roth at second base, Flavin at third. And there's the bunt. Calhoun tries to throw home, doesn't have a play, tries to throw at first, and it is dropped. The Rockets safe all around. So runners at the corners now, 1 out, one run comes across the plate to make it a 2-1 ball game in favor of Unity.
And they're going to let another guy advance.
Couple of errors this inning could come back to haunt Urbana, as one of those batters already comes around to score.
And that'll be at least one.
So an RBI single for Bailey. So Bailey 2 for 2 on the day. He reached base the first time around with an E6, I guess. Pitcher Kyle Miller back up to the plate for the Rockets as Welbus fires over to Calhoun. Hold the runner to first. Wind picks up a little bit here at Prairie Park.
And Gino's coming up to talk to Welbus.
Let's see what Gino wants to talk over here. Could be some strategy, whether they want to hold that runner to first or just focus on the batter would be my guess. Tough inning for the Tigers, even though they've only allowed a couple across the plate. They've had 2 errors that should have resulted in outs, and we should have already been out of this inning, and in all bluntness, but not the case. So this inning continues. Unity up 3-1 with just 1 out, and the pitcher Kyle Miller at the plate. Runners at the corner for the Rockets. Miller showed bunt. Then Mancuso fired to second, but to no effect as the Rockets are in there safely. So 2 runners in scoring position now for Unity at second and third. There's the pitch. That one popped high. It's going to reach the outfield. We'll see if Unity tags up, and they elect to. Here comes the throw. Perfect throw, and he is out at the plate.
And that'll be the inning.
So very nice way to end a rough top half of the second for the Tigers. As that one's caught in the shallow outfield, they fire it right home exactly where the catcher wanted it. Mancuso places the tag, and the Tigers get out of this one with just 2 runs coming across. So the Rockets get a couple across. They have 3 now as we head to the bottom of the second, where the Tigers look to even things up. It's a 3-1 ball game. Garrett Fraley due up for the Tigers. Here's the pitch from Kyle Miller. That one's low and inside for ball one, so a 1-0 count here for Prairie. The Tigers' next game will be this Saturday right here at Prairie Park as we see strike number one as Prairie swings away at that one, a 1-1 count. This Saturday, the Urbana Tigers will be in action against Normal West. That kicks off at 10 a.m. here at Prairie. I think the weather's supposed to be fairly nice this Saturday, so if you got time to head out, catch a ball game, we won't be carrying that one on the Tigers Media Network, but you can come here in person. Even better.
Get to see it all live.
That one hacked foul down the third base side. A 1-2 count now to Prairie. Prairie, another sophomore, seeing some varsity minutes here for Urbana. He tips that one foul.
And that'll be an out.
So a full count pitch there. Good effort from Fraley, good at bat, but unable to come up with a hit or a walk there. He goes down swinging for out number one. Second baseman Hayden Hartley up to the plate for Urbana. Hayden had a rough top half of the second inning in the field. See if he can redeem himself here at the plate. He finds himself down 0-2. And swings away strike number 3. So back-to-back strikeouts delivered by the Unity Rockets' Kyle Miller.
I somewhat disagreed with the what they called strike 2 on that last one. Looked kind of far outside the zone.
Well, you couldn't disagree with the other ones because he swung at him.
Oh, yeah.
Well hit ball there by Zeke Brown. He puts the wheels on. He's going to get a double out of it. So shortstop Zeke Brown finds himself with a double. Maybe that'll get things started here in the bottom half of the second for the Tigers. It's a 3-1 ball game in favor of the Unity Rockets. The Tigers' first extra base hit of the ball game. In fact, the first extra base hit of the ball game for either team. Jordan Smith hit by a pitch his first time up.
Almost
gets hit with that one again. He ducks down. Smith had some good base running. He was able to come around and get the lone run that the Tigers have right now. He fouls that one back. That one kind of found the small hole between the dugout and the fence post over there, I think, and came close to some fans. You know the rule for calling these games with me, right?
Yeah.
You have to catch the ball if it comes to us. Okay, yeah. Oh, and that ball got away from him, luckily for the Tigers, and he's going to run. He puts on the wheels and safely comes into home. Some heads-up base running there from Zeke Brown. Steals third, steals home, and the Tigers get one across already in the bottom half of the second. So it's a 3-2 ball game now. Nobody on. Bases are clear. There's 2 out, 2 balls and 2 strikes. And Smith swings away at strike number 3. So some timely base running, as it turns out, by Zeke Brown. After his double, he steals third, steals home, and comes across to score for Urbana. It's a 3-2 ball game as we head to the top of the third here at Prairie Park. Jason Liggett joined by Urbana High School senior Mike Monreal. We appreciate you tuning in, whether that's on Urbana Public Television, Comcast Xfinity, channels 6 and 1096, AT&T UVerse channel 99, or i3 Broadband channel 6. We're also available at livestream.com/Urbana or on YouTube, youtube.com/UPTV6. Our next broadcast of Urbana High School sports will be coming up next week. Next Thursday, April 11th, we have another softball game against Champaign Central. That'll be followed the following week on Tuesday, April 16th. The soccer team in action against Champaign Central. 4:30 start for the softball game if you want to join us at Urbana High School. That's always an intimate field and a quick game no matter what happens with the softball. A smaller field and run across the bases, and if you get a perfect pitch performance, perfect game performance like Alice Deck delivered, it's a 1 hour and 8 minute ball game to be exact. But I wouldn't count on that. Ball 1 low from Welbus. Knoll thought about swinging at that one, but lays off. A 2-0 count now.
And that'll be fouled down the third baseline.
Damian Knoll, 1 for 1 on the ball game. He had an RBI single back in the first. He may get a single this time around, but he's not getting an RBI single, right? No one's on base. Some chatter coming from the Unity Rockets dugout here. Keeping things exciting.
And that should be routine, and
he's got to fire it over there. Miller tried to get down to come up with that ball, unable to do so. He fires to second, going to be a close one at second, and he's called out. So Miller not able to come up with that throw as it was thrown to first base, but he was quick to rebound, come up with the ball, and fire it to second base for the out. Good job by Calhoun to stay with that one. Ennis not wasting any time, grounding that one up the middle. He'll get a single out of it. He grounded out back in the first, so he's 1 for 2 on the day. First baseman Nate Reinhardt back up to the plate. He's 0 for 1, grounded out back in the first inning. So 1 out here, top of the third. He tips that one foul. Just a one-run ball game as the Rockets leading the Tigers 3-2.
And I'll make it a 1-1 count with one out and one on.
Big hit there into center field. Should be caught, and it is. Routine pop fly out there for, who's in the center field for Tigers? That's Prairie out in center field. Sullivan at the plate as he swings away at strike one. 0-1 count now to Sullivan. And swings right away to strike number two. He's swinging for the fences for sure. He struck out back in the second. He's 0 for 1 on the day. That one hit very high. I think it's going to remain in play. Miller over there. And Calhoun comes up with that one.
And that's the third time Miller's hat's fallen off today.
He's got all that hair.
Yeah, it must
nowhere to hide it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I remember when he pitched a couple games last season, and one of the games that we called where he was pitching, I think after every pitch he had to adjust his hat because it was falling off after the motion of the pitch. So a couple of nice plays there by Calhoun in that inning.
And I think it'll be Welbus up first for the Tigers.
I think Coffee might be ahead of him, yeah.
Yep.
I keep a sloppy book, but not that sloppy. I did have the right hitter coming up. Decent crowd at the ballpark today. Unity traveled well from over in Tolono. Tigers have their usual suspects in the crowd. Kind of tough to see. A lot of times it seems like it's always us on the main bleachers that people can see from the center field camera and the visiting team. And then the Urbana Tigers faithful tends to be on the other side of the dugout, first base side. I like the view from up here.
Oh, yeah, it looks, you can see everything.
Coffee 1 for 2 on the day. He had an RBI single back in the first. It's a 1-0 count, and he takes strike number 1. So 1-1 now.
That would be ball 3.
So 3-1. See if Miller can rebound here, or if Coffee will be headed to first on a walk. That one inside
and first base.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. So here's the pitcher, Jacob Welbus, back up to the plate for the Tigers. He had a single his first go-round back in the first inning. He knocks that one foul, just barely made contact with it. So 0-1 the count. Coffee was getting a sizable lead off the bag over there at first. We'll see if he does it this time around. And Kyle Miller's aware. He throws, and Coffee has no problem getting back to the bag. That one a little high there.
And Levi will advance to second base.
Sun's trying to peek through the clouds here at Prairie Park. That feels nice.
Yeah, warm it up a little bit.
Well, when I went on my lunch break today, it was sunny and warmer, and then I had an outdoor shoot at about 1:30 or so, and the clouds started to roll in and a little bit of a cool feel, but I'll definitely take this over the winter that we had, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah. Walking out to my car from wrestling practice, and it's freezing.
1-2 count, and Welbus goes down swinging. It's a sixth strikeout of the day for Kyle Miller.
And Miller Calhoun up to bat now.
Calhoun 0 for 1 on the afternoon. He's made a couple of good plays, specifically in the last inning for the Tigers in the field. Calhoun lays off that one. It's inside for ball one. A 1-1 count now, 1 out. Tigers have a runner on second base, a 3-2 ball game. Bottom of the third inning. Calhoun gets
Miller
a hold of that one, but it's whacked foul
it
down the first base side. See if Calhoun can straighten it out here, a 1-2 count. I think just a little bit behind that one was Calhoun. Otherwise, he would have given that one a ride in fair territory. Calhoun goes down swinging. That'll bring up left fielder Braden Rudisil.
And that'll be ball one.
Miller powers that one past Rudisil at the plate. He took a healthy cut at it, but unable to connect. 1-2 the delivery here.
Ooh.
And that one fouled off the umpire there. Luckily he was wearing his chest protector. No harm, no foul. I think just a little blooper in the outfield might do the trick here.
Oh, yeah. That'd probably
With
tie it
Coffee
up.
on second. So Rudisil strikes out. So after delivering a walk, Kyle Miller strikes out the last 3 batters for the Tigers. They leave 1 stranded, none across the plate here, so it continues to be a 3-2 ball game as we enter the top of the 4th inning here at Prairie Park. And this has been a battle for the Tigers so far. Good game. Looking at their past games.
I see Alex Porras subbed in at third base.
Good eye. And the real question is, did he take over for Levi Coffey, or is Coffey somewhere else?
I believe they just moved Coffey to second.
Okay.
Yep, that's him right there.
And does that mean that Hayden Hartley is now out of the ball game?
Wow.
We'll find out. Up to the plate for the Unity Rockets is John Flavin. He was hit by a pitch his first time round back in the 2nd inning. Flavin did come around to score for the Rockets. Flavin draws the walk, and Jared Roth up to the plate now for the Unity Rockets. Roth reached on an E4 his first go-around back in the 2nd inning. So a runner on first, a 3-2 ball game, top of the 4th inning. Jason Liggett joined by Urbana High School senior Mike Monreal out at Prairie Park. And if you haven't experienced a game out here before, it's quite an experience. I would
It's
I would
nice.
recommend it. Nice scenic views in East Urbana. It's out at the Brookins Administrative Center, if you know where that's out, at the corner of Washington and Learman. It's just behind that. We can see the cars go by as the Rockets' Flavin slides safely into second base. Cars driving past in the outfield. That's Washington Street out there. And Learman behind us as we're sitting in the home stands behind the plate. So a 1-1 count here to Roth. He looks to advance the runner. Good bunt back to the mound. And that ball gets away from Calhoun. And runner's going to come around and score. So definitely not the way that the Tigers wanted that series of events to occur. So Welbus fielded the ball. His throw to Calhoun was a little inside the baseline. Calhoun couldn't stretch his arm far enough, and that one got away from Calhoun. Runner was safe at first and third, and then Flavin, who reached on a walk and was then at third, came around to score. And now the Rockets up by 2, a 4-2 ball game. That one pitched inside, and Roth safely slides into second.
pops up the bunt.
Left fielder Brady Porter up to the plate here for the Rockets. It's a 1-1 count after he bunts that one foul high and hits the backstop, so Tigers not able to come up with the play on it. Luckily, he gets out of the way of that one. Some high heat inside from Welbus. No out, runner in scoring position. The Rockets have already got one across the plate here in the top of the fourth. He goes for a bunt. Calhoun not able to come up with it. He tosses it to first, and it goes sailing past first base, and the Rockets get another one in. So the Tigers proving that the bunt is not their friend. At least today it isn't.
It's
So is the Tigers having a meeting on the mound here without Coach Gino Hoffman?
I would fear so.
Probably just getting together, saying, hey, guys, let's clean up the slop a little bit. We can do this. Get out of this inning. Just a runner on first now, so no out. And let's get back up to the plate. Welbus fires that one over to Calhoun and brings the runner back to the bag. Porter over on first. The Tigers have not scored more than 2 runs in any game so far this season. So it'll be fun to see if they can do just that here this afternoon, as they got 2 runs early on, 1 in the first and 1 in the second. It's a 5-2 ball game right now. Unity's on top. That one fouled right back to us. Were you ready?
Oh yeah.
Were you ready?
I was
Yeah.
prepared.
You look ready. You've got your. Thankfully, that fence is there. You don't have to be so ready.
I wish the fence wasn't there. Could have caught that.
That would have came right back at us. See, I don't think you were ready to catch that one.
No, probably not.
Mancuso throws that one to second, but a little off the mark, and Tigers aren't able to come up with that out as Porter slides safely into second base.
They do get the batter out, though.
Pitcher Kyle Miller. And I think he called for a balk there. So Welbus called for a balk, and Porter's going to find himself on third base. Tigers infield playing in. Pitch down in the dirt, and Porter comes across to score. So a 3-run fourth inning to this point. And it's a 6-2 ball game in favor of the Rockets.
And Gino's coming out again.
I think he's going to make the switch here, and we're going to see another arm on the mound here. Question is, who will it be?
No, he's staying in.
All right, just a few wise words to Welbus. He wants to see him finish this out.
At least try to get out of this inning, then maybe throw someone else on there.
So the skipper showing some faith into Welbus. We'll see if it pays off. It does right there. Strike one. 1-1 count now to Miller. That one inside. Right back to the mound. He tosses that one to Calhoun, and Calhoun able to corral that one for out number 2. And here comes Damian Knoll. Knoll reached first base on an error last inning and then tried to go ahead to second and was thrown out by Calhoun at second base. And here is the 2-0 delivery from Jacob Welbus. That one popped high and out of play. Lands with a thud on the hill back behind us here at Prairie Park. That one low and inside for ball number 3, so a 3-1 count. See if Welbus can get this at bat back on track. And not able to do so. Ball 4 delivered. And Knoll will find himself at first base. And number 44, Lane Innes, back up to the plate for the Rockets. He's 1 for 2 on the day. Grounded out back in the first and had a single in the third. Mancuso does a good job of shifting his body weight over to stay in front of that one. It was outside. Innes jumped out of the way of that one. It's inside, a 2-1 count now. 2 out. Seems like it's been a long top of the 4th inning here for the Tigers. That one inside. 3-1 count now. 3 runs have come across in the top of the 4th already for the Rockets as we see Welbus fires over to Calhoun to bring Damian Knoll back to the bag. He dives in safely. 3-1 count. And that one's low and outside for ball number 4. So Welbus has walked his last 2 batters. And that's going to bring up first baseman Nate Reinhardt. Reinhardt 0 for 2 on the day. See if Welbus can make it 0 for 3.
Hey, strike 1.
And a lost opportunity there for the Tigers. That one popped up out of play, but right underneath that one was the Tigers' third baseman. Had a glove on it, just not able to come up with it.
And that'll be a strikeout. And
there you go. That'll work too. Just as well, if not better. So the Rockets get 3 across in the top of the 4th to make it a 4-run ball game. as Unity leads Urbana going into the bottom of the fourth, 6-2. And the story of this game so far for the Tigers has been errors, Mike.
Oh yeah, it's definitely got to clean that up. You know, you never want to see errors, but you know, they are a part of the game, and you definitely got to try to limit them as much as possible.
Temperature starting to drop slightly here at Prairie Park as the sun continues to go down. So we shift from the afternoon hours into the evening hours. We're an hour into this ball game, and at the halfway point. So Mancuso going to lead off here for Urbana. That one low and inside. So a 2-0 count here as Mancuso looks down to Hoffman for some signals. He rips that one up the middle, well-fielded ball by the shortstop, and they fire it over. I definitely thought Mancuso had a shot at first, but
I thought he was getting there for sure.
Very good fielding by the Rockets that time. Out at short is Gunnar Bailey, and he fires that over to Reinhardt to record the first out of the bottom of the fourth. And looks like we might see a pitching change here. I've been 0 for 2 on my pitching changes so far. I thought the time might be right, but not so. Not that Miller has Kyle Miller has been bad or at all for the Rockets, but I guess Coach just wanted to talk things over right there.
Yeah, I mean, but you know, when you see a skipper going out there, you usually think, oh, there's a pitching change. You never really think it's just a mountain visit.
Well, sometimes when they're in some sort of trouble, but quite frankly, the Rockets have been rolling here a little bit, so I don't know what the... 2-2 the count here. Full count to Fraley. Here's the delivery from Miller. And that one inside for ball 4.
And it'll be Alex Poor up to bat.
So Poor seeing his first at bat of the afternoon. He takes strike 1 there, so 1 out. Tigers down by 4. They've got a runner at first base. Poor gets a hold of that one, smacks it down the third base side and foul. If he could have straightened that thing out, it could have been trouble for the Rockets. some foot races from Urbana High School students going on in the soccer field area of Brookins right now. I don't know how competitive those are, but regardless. And that one hit high, hit deep, but should be caught in a routine pop fly there. So Alex Poor gave that ball a couple of rides at that at-bat, but unable to come up with anything on the offensive side of things. He pops out. He's 0 for 1 on the day, and that's going to bring up Zeke Brown. Zeke Brown had that double back in the second inning. He's 1 for 1 on the day. Runner on first here. And that ball inside for ball 1. That one nibbles the outside corner for strike number 1, so 1-1 here. Two and two. Here's the delivery from Kyle Miller. And that one swung and fouled off by Zeke Brown. And he struck him out. I think Brown thought that one was a little bit inside. He had to hop off the plate, but
that did look a little inside. I don't so much agree with that call, but nothing you can really do about it.
So that's the 9th strikeout of the day for Unity Rockets pitcher Kyle Miller. And back out on the mound is Welbus. He's going to start off the 5th inning here for the Tigers. Tigers leave one stranded in the 4th. Don't get any across the plate as they trail by 4. It's a 6-2 ball game as we start the 5th inning. And I think we're going to see some new players in here for the Rockets, some substitutions. Up to the plate right now is Aiden Simpson. What's going on over there, Mike? You're getting wild, huh?
Just had to stretch for a second and my shoe fell off.
So Aiden Simpson comes in for Jonah Sullivan. Simpson will see his first at-bat of the afternoon. He's ahead in the count, 2 balls and 1 strike. He fouls that one back into the soccer field, or the running track, if you will, just a few moments ago. I'm still waiting on the result of that race. That'll bring up a full count after that ball, so full count delivery here to Aiden Sampson. Low and outside. He'll head to first base. And now we're going to see a pitching change. I think you're going to see a little bit of a... I don't know what was going on there. Looks like Welbus is going to have a seat for the afternoon. And coming into the ball game is Williams. He's not going to be pitching, though, I don't think. Who do we got now on the mound here?
It's Alex Poor.
All right, so Alex Poor, who came in as a sub last inning, now going to be handed the ball for Coach Gino Hoffman. So we saw Williams earlier on in the ball game come in as a pinch runner. Well, and not a terrible afternoon for Jacob Welbus. Don't let the score trick you there. Not all those runs are earned.
Right. Couple of errors.
Tigers' defense has not been up to par this afternoon, unfortunately. But he will leave the game after facing the first batter and walking him here in the top of the fifth. Donnie Williams comes in to play third. And Alex Poor going to pitch now for Urbana. Poor entered the game in the fourth, replacing Hayden Hartley. Poor on the mound, looking back, the runner on first, delivers the pitch for ball number one. That one lined up the middle to second base. And they get a double play there. Oh, wow. I think the Unity Rockets coach wanted a little bit of an explanation there. Didn't think that the Tigers were touching second base there for that first out they recorded. But umpire says yes for clarification, and 2 outs here in the top of the fifth. That one fouled up down the first base side. And there's Calhoun, and comes up with it. So Poor enters the game and gets 3 quick outs thanks to the Tigers' defense. So they step up in the top of the fifth. No runs comes across the plate for the Rockets, and they still lead this one 6-2 going into the bottom of the fifth. And the Tigers need to think about putting an offensive run here together. They've got 3 more chances to do so, 9 more outs.
And I'm not seeing Unity's catcher.
He was up to bat. Well, he's the one who grounded out into that double play, so he probably has to get all his gear on.
Yep, I think I see him now. No, I think they have another guy going out there.
They're just having him warm up the pitcher here.
Oh.
Yeah, it's Crowley out there for the Rockets, just getting Miller warmed up. Why didn't you bring me a blanket, Mike?
I didn't think to bring myself one. I thought it'd be a little bit warmer getting into the later stages of the game, but maybe not such a smart idea.
It never is. I brought a heavier coat and and I always keep a hat and gloves in my car from past experience, but emphasis on that sentence, in my car. I forgot to get them out and bring them here just in case. So we'll go through these last few innings. I might have to make a run out there.
I'm assuming the bad experience was the freezing rain game.
Oh, there's been a bunch over the years. I mean, we've done soccer games in snow. We've done a number of football games where it's just been cold. You know?
Yeah, those are rough because,
Yeah.
especially from my position, like everyone in football kind of has to use their hands, and when your hands get cold, it hurts a lot more. Try to keep your hands in the middle of a defensive lineman's pads, at least from my perspective.
Well, football's funny in our coverage. The first game or two, I've been out there just drenched in sweat. It's been, 90 degrees,
high.
And then by the end of the season, it is frigid.
For every game, I always have on a bunch of layers. I'd prefer to be really, really hot during a game than freezing.
Smith goes down on strikes for the second time this afternoon. He was hit by a pitch in the first and struck out in the second and struck out just now in the fifth. Coffee up to the plate now for the Tigers. He's 1 for 1 on the day with an RBI single and a walk. He looks at strike number 1 right there for a 1-1 count.
And that'll be ball 2.
I was looking down there for a minute. Did you see how Coffee went out?
Strikeout.
Another strikeout. Okay. So now we see Donnie Williams, his first at bat of the afternoon. And he gets a hold of that one. He sends a line out to center field. We'll see if Unity can come up with it, and they don't. So a single for Donnie Williams. And the Tigers dug out, letting Donnie know their approval of that one. Hit it where they ain't, and he did just that. Calhoun up to the plate, takes a big hack for strike number 1.
Miller's out here swinging for the fences.
Go big or go home for Miller Calhoun. I'm fine with them going big.
Oh, yeah.
That one fouled back behind us. Got some youngsters back there learning the sport of soccer. Thankfully, that ball not fouled back far enough to interfere with any of their play. Ooh, I thought he almost got him there too, but Coffee must have slid underneath that tag to slide safely back into first base. And I bet Coffee's going to be a little cautious here.
Yeah. Miller called for a
I'm sorry,
timeout.
Coffee's not it. Donnie Williams out at first base is going to be a little cautious there. Two out here in the bottom of the fifth. Diving back to the bag is Donnie Williams. 1-2 the count. Here comes the delivery from Kyle Miller to Miller Calhoun. Calhoun fouls that one back again. That one low and inside. Evens up the count at 2-2. Calhoun wanted to swing at that one, but he's able to lay off that outside pitch. Brings up a full count situation here for the Tigers. Donnie Williams over at first base, 2 out, bottom of the fifth. Tigers trail by 4. Here's the pitch from Miller. Calhoun fouls that one. We'll see if it gets out of play. It's right on the line, and yeah, it does. Goes into the batting cage down there, I think.
Yep.
Thought I saw the net move a little bit. So we're going to set the stage once again here.
Yep, there's someone in the batting cage right now.
Surprise. That'll wake him up. And that one low, so Miller draws the walk there. And Tigers with runners on first and second. It's Calhoun's first time reaching base this afternoon. He was 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. Previous to that at bat. And here comes Rudisill up to the plate. Rudisill 0 for 2 on the day. He's trying to get something going here in the late innings. See if the Tigers can rally back for a W. They trail by 4, 2 out, bottom of the fifth. That one looked like a perfect strike right down the middle. Rudisill lays off of it. It's an 0-2 count now. And swings away at strike number 3. So the Tigers leave 2 stranded there. No runs come across the plate as they still trail by 4, 6-2 as we head to the 6th inning. "12 strikeouts from Unity Rockets' Kyle Miller. Alex Poor back up on the mound for the Tigers, as we assumed he would be after a quick work in the top half of the 5th. He returns for the top half of the 6th. Would not be surprised as long as everything's staying on course that Gino finishes up the game with Poor.
I'd assume so. If he can put him down like he did last inning, you definitely expect to see him out there the rest of the game.
It's been a few years, but some of the parents of graduated students now used to run a pretty mean concession stand here. They would pull up in their van and their truck and lay out tables. They'd have their grill out and cook some of the finest cheeseburgers I have ever tasted in my life.
I do remember that. My freshman year I came to a game. And
yeah, not the case anymore.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I'll eat later. I'll live. That one grounded to second, tossed over to Calhoun. Routine play for the Tigers for out number 1 in the 6th inning. Shortstop Gunnar Bailey back up to the plate. He reached base back in the 1st inning on E6. Had an RBI single in the 2nd and struck out in the 4th. We'll see how he does here in the 6th. He takes 2 balls now for a 2-0 count. See if Poor can give him something to swing at. He does just that, but Bailey doesn't budge, so a 2-1 count now. That one nibbles on the outside corner for strike number 2, evens it up at 2 apiece. That one fouled back behind us. And that one comes close to the soccer team there as they're running up the hill, building up endurance. You ever had to run up that hill?
No, but I've had to run up different hills. They're not.
That one grounded to short across the diamond. Nice snag from Calhoun, but not in time. Good wheels there by the Rockets to get safe, but that was just about as good as you can get from the Tigers.
No, we haven't ran that hill specifically, but we ran hills a few times in football, and it's not fun.
Well, I tell you what, let me look at the schedule here. As we see strike 1 delivered to Kyle Miller. We'll be back out here on April 23rd. Are you going to be here for that game?
Yep.
So Tuesday, April 23rd. We're playing Bloomington. If the Urbana Tigers win, you get to run that hill.
Oh, God.
If the Urbana Tigers lose, you get to run that hill. Is that a deal?
All right, I'll do it.
Well, you're a good sport, Mike Monreal.
Never been a big runner, but I don't think anyone that, as a lineman, it really enjoys running.
Well, the nice thing about the grass hill is then you can roll down it, right?
Yeah.
You ever remember rolling down the hills?
Rolls are kind of not too great for skill players in football, since they're used to running. Some coaches, they won't make them run; they'll make them just roll on the plane field, just roll down and back, and it's not fun. It makes you wanna puke a little.
That pitch gets away from Mancuso, and Gunnar Bailey makes his way to third. Kyle Miller popped out to left center. So 2 out now, runner on third. There's the pitch. That one fouled back behind us. Damian Knoll at the plate. He walked his last time up in the 4th inning. Tigers don't want another run to get across here. Ground ball. And that gets past Williams at third base, so a run scores. And Knoll is now at first. That'll bring up right fielder Lane Innes. Innes takes strike number one. So an 0-1 count, runner on first, 2 out, 1 run already across here as the Unity Rockets lead the Urbana Tigers 7-2. That one popped up high in the infield. Should be caught, and it is. So the Tigers get out of the top of the 6th inning. The Rockets leave one stranded and get one across the plate as they add to their lead. It's a 5-run ball game now, 7-2 in favor of Unity.
Yeah, the Tigers obviously now not much more time. Still time to generate their offenses. Obviously baseball has no time limits, but
plenty of time. Well, they got 2 innings. Or beyond, I suppose, if they're able to tie it up. But see if the Tigers can get something going offensively that they haven't been able to get going offensively all season long. But only 5 games deep now into the 2019 campaign.
Yeah, like obviously with baseball it's a lot different. I know from a football perspective when we were sitting at 0-5, I mean a lot of guys I'll even throw myself in there, were freaking out a little bit, you know. 'Cause
more games than baseball.
Right.
I mean that's the difference there.
Baseball has much more chances than football does. We only had 9 games, so.
And I think there's been some substitutes in the field for the Rockets. Not quite sure what those are at this point. Oh, well, it's staring me right in the face. Gunnar Bailey is warming up.
You looked a little different than the last guy out there, but I wasn't too sure.
You were just going to let me run with it, huh?
Yeah, I couldn't tell if it was a different guy or not.
So a heck of a ball game pitched there by Unity's Kyle Miller. He had 12 strikeouts through 5 innings, allowed just 2 runs. And Gunnar Bailey has been in the entire game at shortstop. He's going to move to the mound.
And who is that at shortstop?
I was going to have you tell me.
I believe that's number 8. It's 6 or 8.
What I thought you were going to say. I thought it looked like 8 too, but they do not have a number 6 or a number 8 on their roster, so we'll play that one by ear.
All right.
We'll be able to get a better look at their shortstop when he comes up to bat. How about that?
Yep.
Leading off for the Tigers is sophomore Andrew Mancuso. Mancuso 0 for 2 on the day. He's looking to get his first action offensively.
I know.
He looks at strike number 2, so a 2-2 count now.
I can at least say for me, after this, I will go home and then turn on more baseball.
There you go.
Throw on the Cubs game.
Hopefully they can get things back on track early on this season. Been a little rough outing for the Cubs, but
last
a
year
lot of ball games
right.
for Major League Baseball. So no worries there.
Yeah, I mean they've They started out rough years that they ended up doing great. So it's obviously nothing too concerning with the season still being so early.
Here's center fielder Garrett Fraley up to the plate for the Tigers. He's 0 for 1 on the day with a strikeout and a walk. Gunnar Bailey delivers 4 straight balls, and Fraley finds himself on first base. Pitcher Alex Poor up to the plate. He had a good at-bat back in the 4th inning, sent that ball sailing a couple of times, popped out on the second one of those. So he's 0 for 1 on the afternoon. We'll see if he can make contact here, and a swing a little low on that one. 1-1 count now. Poor swings away right there. It's a 1-2 count. Runner on first. See if the Tigers can keep the line moving here. Fouls that one straight back to the backstop. And another foul out of play, back to the hill. Healthy lead by Fraley over at first. And that one fouled back again by Poor. Bailey delivers that one just outside for ball number 2. Fouled back again. I think that's the fourth one that Poor has fouled back at this at-bat. So a lengthy at-bat here, a battle between Unity Rockets' Gunnar Bailey and Urbana Tigers' Alex Poor. There's the pitch, fouled back again. And the Tigers faithful starting to make some noise here, appreciating this battle. And after a long at bat, Poor gets caught looking for strike number 3. And here comes Zeke Brown. Zeke Brown 1 for 2 on the day. Had that nice double back in the 2nd inning. Struck out in the 4th. As Gunnar Bailey fires over to Reinhardt. Fraley dives back to the bag safely. Here's the delivery from Bailey. That one outside for ball number 1. So a 2-0 count here. Brown takes a cut at that one, but to no avail. 2-1. 2 out, runner on first. Bottom of the 6th. Brown looks at the second strike. Tigers trailing by 5. They need to get something going offensively. See if they can do so here. Oh, not a good base running move there, and we saw Fraley might have got off the bag a little bit late running over there, but did not slide, just kind of ran into the second baseman and took the third and final out of the 6th inning.
And Will Brown will be subbing in, one of my wrestling teammates. He's going in at, he's at second base. He was our 138-pounder this year. Unfortunately, didn't get to wrestle in regionals because of a injury towards the end of the year to his ankle, I believe.
Well, Will Brown just a junior this year, so perhaps next year's wrestling season will treat him a little kinder.
Hopefully.
That ball sent for a ride, but the Tigers right there to come up with it. So a nice rip from Nate Reinhardt ends up in an out as he flies out to left center. Aiden Simon thought about it right there, and the umpire says yes. Strike number one, so a 1-1 count now to Simon. He fouls that one back. The wind picking up just slightly here at Prairie Park as the sun is down and behind the clouds, and temperatures continue to drop here. Full count now to Simon. Here's the delivery from Poor. And strikes him out looking. That'll bring up catcher John Flavin. He grounded out into a double play his last time up in the 5th inning. we'll see what the Tigers can do with him here in the top of the 7th. Urbana trails by 5. It's a 7-2 ball game. That one ripped down the third base line, and yeah, Donnie tried to come up with that one, but it was almost already past him. So coming up with a double right there is John Flavin. That's his first hit of the afternoon. Roth is due up next for Unity as we see Coach Gino Hoffman come to the mound. Looks like we might see a pitching change. And looks like we will. I think Calhoun going to be pitching. He's going back into the dugout. Thought he might get a different glove or something. Or maybe he's just done for the day. The mind of Gino Hoffman keeps us wondering. And here comes Calhoun.
Yep. Back
out onto the field and onto the mound. So with 2 out and a runner on second, Tigers trail by 5, and Calhoun comes into the ball game to pitch. He's been playing first base up until this point. I think Gino might just want to give him some experience on the mound and see what he has for later in the season. And if you're Calhoun right here, down by 5, all you really want to do is throw some strikes.
Yeah, try to keep anyone from getting across again. Just keep it where it's at, and hopefully Urbana can come back.
Don't succumb to any more errors. That has been a big issue for the Tigers here this afternoon. The Tigers have gotten 2 across the plate, 1 in the first and 1 in the second. Nothing since. As that one's in there for strike number 1. So 0-1 count to Roth. That one outside, maybe a little bit low for ball 1, even the count up at 1 apiece. That one back to Calhoun, fielded nicely, tosses it over to first base for the 3rd out of the top of the 7th. So the Unity Rockets leave 1 stranded, don't get any across the plate. They still lead by 5 going into the last chance for the Urbana Tigers. It's a 7-2 ball game as we enter the bottom of the 7th inning.
So if Urbana doesn't score any runs here, then that would be game, correct?
Yeah, only 7 games, and in high school.
Oh, there's only 7 innings.
7 innings. Yes,
Okay.
sorry. Yes, that's what I meant.
Oh, I thought
yeah.
they went the full 9.
Nope. You were in it. You were in it for the night, huh? You were. Nope. Just 7 innings, regulation game in both baseball and softball. Yeah, so it's do or die time here for the Tigers.
I'd say even if, they don't win this game, one big thing is I remember you saying they haven't scored more than 2 runs, so hopefully they can at least drive in at the least a third.
There you go. That's the spirit.
And I'm assuming it'd be like in the majors, so if Urbana had been winning at this point, then they just call it then.
Correct.
Bottom of the 7th.
Yep. Correct. Yeah, the 7th inning is treated as the 9th would be in Major League Baseball or in college baseball. College level, they used to play 7 innings quite a bit, and then the NCAA started encouraging them to play the full 9.
Yeah, I think it was.
And now they play the full 9.
I think part of it was that some guys, they'd get in there and they weren't used to the 9 innings since they'd played 7 for so long.
At some point you're going to have to get used to the 9 innings because Major League Baseball, you're going to play 9 innings.
Yeah.
At some point you got to get used to it. But,
unless you're a pitcher, most of the time you're going to be out there for 9 innings. And even sometimes if you're a pitcher.
So leading things off here for the Tigers is Zeke Brown.
He's 1 for 3 on the night, I believe.
1 for 2. He was batting in the 6th inning when.
Oh, yep. Mm-hmm. I remember.
When Prairie got thrown out at second.
So he'd be back up again.
That one inside for ball number 3. So a 3-0 count here to Brown, looking to get on base for the Tigers' first base runner of the bottom of the 7th. He shows bunt and takes ball number 4. So 4 balls in a row from Gunnar Bailey gets Zeke Brown aboard. It's going to bring Jordan Smith up to the plate for the Tigers.
I need to remember to bring gloves next game.
Like I say, I have a pair in my car. It's just
emphasis on the
not in my car. Yeah, exactly. It's better than at my house, I guess, but right now it's having the same effect.
Yeah.
I'm cold.
Miller told me to dress warm, and I assumed this would be okay. But I guess just a thin Bears hoodie is not. This was pretty warm when I was leaving. I didn't even have it on.
That one ripped up the middle. Double play ball, perhaps. And safe at first. So shortstop tossed it over to the second base for the first out. They fired over to Reinhardt at first, but not in time as Jordan Smith, showing off some speed, he gets the fielder's choice. So 1 out here. Levi Coffey up to the plate. Coffey 1 for 2 on the afternoon, an RBI single and a strikeout. He also walked back in the 3rd. Smith taking a healthy lead off first base as Coffey swings and comes up with strike number 2. 0-2 the count here. 1 out, runner on first. It's a 5-run lead for the Unity Rockets as Gunnar Bailey tosses it over to Reinhardt. Smith dives back to the bag safely. Here's the 0-2 delivery from Bailey to Coffey. And that one just a little bit high for ball number 1.
Yeah. Is something on fire?
Yeah, that's a lot of black smoke over there.
Just threw me off a little bit.
I think that just out of the view of the camera, but down the first base side in the neighborhood, I'm not too sure what what someone is burning, but it's a lot of black smoke. There's Donnie Williams up to the plate now. Smith racing to second, but he's going to be sent back as Williams fouls that one off. It's a 1-1 count now to Donnie. Tigers down to their last strike, or last out rather. Smith with a healthy lead off first. They're not holding him, so he's going to run to second with no fight from Unity as they're focused on the batter and just one out left. If I'm Smith, you might as well go to third.
Oh, yeah.
That one made contact down the third base line, and Williams tries to run it out, but not able to do so. And that will wrap up the ball game here at Prairie Park. The Tigers score 1 in the first and 1 in the second, but nothing else. A dominant pitching performance from Kyle Miller of the Unity Rockets. Gunnar Bailey comes in relief, and plenty of offense really based around a lot of untimely errors for the Urbana Tigers, and the Unity Rockets win this one by 5, a 7-2 ball game. And Mike, what did you like? What didn't you like from this one?
The offense early definitely helped. I would have liked to see it maybe go a little bit further. Obviously you don't like seeing the errors. That's always rough. So hopefully by the next game they can get this cleaned up and get a W.
All right, for Urbana High School senior Michael Monreal, I'm Jason Liggett. We'll talk to you next Thursday for Urbana High School softball as they play Champaign Central. We hope to see you out at the ballpark next go around. 7-2, the Tigers fall to the Unity Rockets. Thanks so much for watching on the Tigers Media Network.